Hello guys, welcome to the next review for the Jets and Guns game, the November update. Things are getting serious, so what's the new update about, and is it good or is it bad, or is it ugly? Let's find out. I turn the game on, go to players. First thing I'm gonna notice is we got player portraits to choose from now. I mean, it's not the vastest of collection my eyes ever laid gaze upon, but it's nice that after like 5 updates we can finally choose something else than the Korean guy with billiard balls in his eye sockets. I mean, look at this, you can even play as Duke Nukem now. What else could you possibly want? So I select the 800 for this run and go for the tutorial. Once again, we start as a noob with only the basic firepower, and pretty soon you'll start to wonder.
Weren't there rainbows and lasers and stuff last time?
Well, we have a new device that can shield you from harm by creating an energy barrier, and there is actually a tutorial for using it. It's great that we can finally utilize the antimatter we keep getting from the early levels before we actually get a chance to buy a device that requires it. Now we get one directly from the start, and it's not a bad one. If you upgrade this sumbitch, you can envelope your whole ship and also do some serious damage at the same time. At a certain point in the game, my enemies felt like this. Apart from the new device, you also get Circulus quite early in the game, which allows you to go for more risky builds much sooner, as it tends to deflect like 80% of all incoming shots. Combine this with 3 banzai rammers and you practically cannot get hit. It's gonna feel like that annoying yoga boss from Fury. You know which one I'm talking about. All the music, except for City 17, I think, got remade. They seem to be in a better quality, although trading for some of its original vibe. Not great, not terrible, really. I like the new stuff they added to the end of each song. I think they may have just rolled with these new themes as whole new songs and it would work wonders, but who am I to comply? It just seems to me like they should spend their time making new songs instead of redoing the already finished ones, but again, as long as they deliver in the end, I don't really mind. I'm happy to announce that the after death bugged worm enemy in the water world has finally been fixed. Now the too long bullet time after defeating boss in the pirate base level and never-ending dynamo effect after his death still persists to be within the game. You still make enormous money for each level in the game, allowing you to buy and max out almost anything that comes after completing the level. It's not bad though, however, at some point it really becomes absurd after you reach around 1 million currency and the money just keeps coming much faster than you could possibly spend it.
I need a fake passport and I need money. Lots of it.
Well, why didn't you say so? Well, hold on a minute while I pull that out of my ass.
What's new is this flying exclamation mark in the pirate base level. I spent hours wondering what does it stand for. Is it a secret cipher revealing a whole new level only to those worthy? Or is it a joke supposed to troll me? Or is it just a bug? I think it might be just a bug and I might have wasted a lot of time for nothing. I also haven't noticed those ridiculously placed burning spots in the ground when you attempt to set it on fire before. And I did try to set everything on fire before, I'm sure you remember that. Yeah, playing flamethrower build is still fun.
But he would see this country burn if he could be king of the ashes.
The game still crashes from time to time, like this time I got a black screen although the game kept running in the background. I had to force it quit, but other than that it's all good. Just watch out for the heating and you should be fine. They also tried to put more enemies to the quantum research base level in the end, but it still doesn't seem to be even remotely enough to satisfy my crave for destruction. So let's get to new levels. There are 2 this time. There is a lava base level. It's honestly a pretty good level. It reminds me a lot of the Moon Colony. I mean, with reusing the same music, they couldn't really make it more obvious, but it's fun enough and there is a lot of stuff to destroy, or set on fire and then destroy. It also features a stealth passage, same as the Beer Empire level, where you can try to sneak into the bunker via a vent shaft. You can guess how stealth works in jets and guns, but it did make me wonder, what if there actually was a level based on stealth approach? I mean, think about it. Rayman Legends had a whole set of levels based on this concept and they were all amazing. Just a thought for the devs, you know. While mentioning cool ideas for the game, I shall proceed with bosses only defeatable using Antimatter device. I mentioned before that the game could feature bosses prone to overheating or, insert some elemental mechanics into the game. This is just a tip of the iceberg when it comes to possibilities how to make bosses more interesting and, furthermore, challenging. Now I chose this word because devs say, and I quote, they want to make bosses more challenging. Right now, the bosses are this much of a challenge.
I'm gonna rip your fucking guts out and smear them all over your face! I ain't taking no shit! Okay, sorry about that.
Another new level is a secret one, and it features so loved race level from Jets and Guns Gold. It's actually a pretty good one, but I never had problem completing it in the first game, so considering how many people hated it for being too goddamn difficult, it's probably a wise choice to make it an opportunity missable secret this time. If you miss a gate, the mission is over, which kinda sucks because you can very easily immerse yourself in the moment and completely lose sight of where you're supposed to fly and where the next gate is. That is why they mark the right route with small red dot lights in the background to tell you,
this is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Although they may have gone with some better color and perhaps a bigger glow effect, sometimes, no matter how hard I looked, I just couldn't see it.
Look hard.
Then we got a bunch of new equipment and devices. Let's see. There is an arcade ball device that drops up to 4 heavy damage dealing balls that bounce from the borders of the screen and terrain to wreak quite some serious havoc between your enemies. There is also a piece of equipment that allows you to deploy both of your devices at the same time, meaning you can drop up to 8 of these balls, and that is already an accountable force to reckon with. They stay for quite a while on the screen, possibly even long enough for you to refill your antimatter, so you can use the ultimate again. You cannot go all apeshit with it like me in the test range, but it's still good enough to use even in the endgame. It quite sucks that they can hit you too. Obviously they don't do damage, but they do push your ship, which can get inconvenient at times. I'm sure it gets more inconvenient for the enemies though.
Called it! My bones! My fragile bones! Oh, dirty veins! My bones are being destroyed!
Another equipment worth mentioning is the one that causes all HP to turn into antimatter. Along with the scavenger equipment that makes enemies to occasionally drop small hit points, this can keep your ultimate up almost all the time, possibly further combining with the antimatter generator. Just put it together with the equipment that activates both devices at the same time and put an energy barrier in there and you have infinite shield. Okay, put instant cooler in there and you get infinite cooling. There's also a device that replenishes your hit points in case you really needed them badly for some reason. So you can tinker with those to your heart's content. As for the bombs, they added a Vandal bombs, but I don't really see their value. Currently there is no reason to go for these. Go for Baker and Cauldron instead, it's way more fun. I'm sure I've forgotten some new stuff, but you'll forgive me for that. I'll talk more when there is more to talk about.
I have spoken.
The blast projector still breaks the game when it comes to equipping Hydra machine gun. Ever since then, the ship feels like a hot knife and enemies and buildings like a butter. Having too much device power and increased antimatter collection amount per pickup also doesn't make the game any harder, and very soon you'll be cutting through the level like this. Now what I would like to see improved is shop list. Please give us some indicator of what's currently new in the shop. It gets boring having to browse for all the stuff after each level, figuring out what has been their mission before and what is actually brand new. I would also appreciate an option to tweak the game's speed. As I mentioned in the forum for Jits and Guns Gold not a long time ago, sometimes the game just wastes my time being too slow for my OP build, and I would like to be able to either make the level and enemies go faster or make the whole game go faster. So, my verdict? It's pretty good this time. I don't feel offended by any added features. Devs said they want to focus on the missing bosses now, which is a great thing to hear. I do hope they will apply some of the ideas I threw into the ring before, especially in the reviews of previous updates, and make those fights more complex and interesting for the player. There is a lot of space for some new mid-game weapons too, so I hope they'll be filling the gap with some new interesting stuff very soon. And that will seriously be all for this update. I'll see you all at the next one.